I'm going to set my angle gauge here to the first angle, and I've got it, so let me go over to the cardboard. Okay, I got a square corner here for my rafter square, and I marked off already over here for the full top length of it, and I'm going to use this as my corner, so I'm going to come back over here and transfer down that line. Let me go back and get the rest of the lines on here, and then I'll extend them, and then we'll take the stick and the spiling stick and measure them. Okay, I've got this one up here is pretty flat, so you kind of have to extend out something that you can put this gauge, lay the gauge on. So now I'm going to extend these things out, and then we'll get the spiling stick. Remember, you want to do this on cardboard first so that any mistakes you can redo on it. And this flat one here, you could probably generate up an angle using this off the side to come down, and I'll try that right now. Let me get the stick. Okay, there's the center line length, and it's right there, but we want to go down a little bit because of the thickness of the fillet on the bottom there, so we'll go down here. Here is the second stick mark right there, and we'll extend it out a little bit. And here is the second one, and we'll extend it out a bit. And then the third one right there, and we'll extend it out a little bit, and you can see I'm starting to get a little bit of an angle in here, and that one is probably closer than what I think it is, so let me get a tentative angle in here and line up out these outer lines now, the ones where you went over. And so that will be the board that can you see that? This would be what I'll cut out. Let me go cut it and try it. Okay, I've come in high enough. I've got excess material on top here that I probably could have gone with those first tick marks because the fillets are not that fat through here. So let me retrim to a different, to the original angles, and then see how that fits, and then we'll go in with the penciling fitting. Okay, I've got it in and trimmed down a little bit, and so I'm going to hold it in place and drag my pencil along where I've got low spots, and let me trim this. Okay, I've got my second fit in here, and I'm happy with it. This doesn't really, I can go. Let me take a little bit off this corner right here so I can shove it over this side a little bit more. Okay, that's perfect. Now I can take this and transfer it over to the plywood. And the other check too is it's not going to be on this side. I'll have to make another one because the boat's starting to taper inward, but I might be able to use this on the other side, so let me check that. I'll need to make another one for this side. No big thing. It goes quick. So I've got at least 3 more of these things to cut out, and then the plywood to cut out, and then all the plywood will be done other than the rudder and the dagger board. Now is the time-consuming part of, you know, it seems like a never-ending task of putting these in place, giving yourself some outlines, just some light pencil marks or pieces of tape, because you want to, before you put the panels on, you want to be able to coat all these 2x2s on all sides, and then the inside of the hull will be sealed up forever. You want to go ahead and seal that off with a couple coats of epoxy, roll them on with a little roller. Or if you are so inclined, you can go ahead and mask everything off and paint. You know, use your paint and paint the inside of all the panels before you glue them together and put them all in. So that's up to you how you want to do that. So let me go back and do what I was doing. So, well, I've got all the pieces cut out now. All I have to do now is coat all the interior areas with epoxy. I transferred over the last of my cardboard cutouts to these little quarter panels on the side tanks, and I just barely had to get into the 5th sheet of plywood. Used 2 for to set up the hull. You remember we scarfed up 2. Let's see, no, 4. Excuse me. Yeah, 4 sheets. And there was 2 nice, great big hunks left over. I guess I'm still on the original. Now that I think about it, I'm still on the original set of 4 because I had 2 good long end pieces that I was able to salvage, and those about a little over 11 to a little bit more on the long part we kept from the cutting out the panels. So pretty easy. At least I'd say order 5 sheets, 4x8. So I've got this all done, and I've taken my pencil. I've put everything into position and got them, you know, just clamped in place. And I took my pencil and drug along the outside of all the panel sets to indicate where the edges of these are. So that will give me an idea when I take everything off, and make sure you label everything as to its position, especially these little quarter things. That then I can go ahead and coat everything. I'll probably give everything a couple coats because some of these things on the inside of the tank will never see the daylight again, and it'd be really difficult to get in there and paint. So I'll give them a light sanding and then 2 coats of epoxy and get on with it. And I've got my, well, I'll come back to that later. My footwell's all done and it came out looking really good. It's much easier to do it now than was on the O&P when I found out that I had to do it and cut into it the back hull and make it in place. So, and if you're wondering why I'm still dressed up, it's what is it, the 15th of June, and I think it's 56 degrees at about 4:30. So I don't know what the weather is going to do. It's been wet and cold this whole year. So let me get on with tearing everything apart and setting up some epoxy. I've got everything sanded out underneath the seats and around the edges, so now I got to coat out all the 2x2s and all the areas under the tanks and the inside of the panels, and then I can start assembling, and then we'll get on to some of the other tricks about it. I was going to show you how to widen out the seat pieces with some leftover scrap. And so let me get on with it, and we'll get back when I get some stuff done that's interesting, like assembly.